Am I the only one that didn't know what a village was? What the heck is a village?
Village, a settlement, usually larger than a hamlet, but smaller than a town.
Yeah, that definition didn't help.
I must have played too much Elder Scrolls V Skyrim because I thought a village was just a place dragons attacked. So imagine my surprise when I found out New York State has villages you could still visit today. For today's quest, I changed into the appropriate attire, rented out a trusted steed, and traveled to some of the oldest villages New York State has to offer to see what the heck a village even is. But there are rules. Rule number 1, I have to stay overnight in the oldest hotel in each village. Rule number 2, I must support at least one local store unique to the village. Rule number 3, I have to do at least one tourist attraction unique to the village. And our quest begins at our first stop.
Hello, traveler. Greenport Village! Thankfully, our trusted steed took us to the very top of Long Island. And no, this is not a rental car. This is a horse.
Her name is Bubba.
And don't tell her otherwise. After doing some research, I discovered that Greenport Village is one of the oldest villages that New York State has to offer. The problem is, a lot can happen in over 200 years. And we have no idea what this place looks like now. As someone who grew up in a big city, the closest I've ever been to a village was in Minecraft. So, I'm curious as to what this place looks like in real life. Will my expectations be met? Will I finally know what a village is all about? Will a dragon swoop down and scorch my family in a fiery blaze? All I know is, this will be the adventure of a lifetime. However, it will be foolish of us to embark on this quest without a weapon or some form of protection. But where in the heavens will I find such a thing? Wait, what? Where did that floating text come from? I guess I have to go to the village blacksmith? Alright.
And off I went to uncover the hidden secrets of this village. But before the journey began, I made a stark realization. I was freezing! As such, I had to equip my cloak of frost resistance in order to continue and not get hypothermia. But anyways, now I'm off. As I crossed the village county lines, I can't help but notice how suspiciously quiet this environment truly is. Barely anything other than vehicles were outside, and I wondered, where was everyone hiding? I was so perplexed. I had to take a seat and temporarily remove my cloak in disbelief. Where are all the villagers?
Where are
Can
they?
a place truly be a village if there are no people present?
Where are the people?
Why did this dog side-eye me earlier like he wanted to smoke?
This dog wants to fight.
Questions upon questions. But then I realized it was Easter and every villager was gathered here for the Easter egg hunt. But wait! If everyone is gathered here, that means everywhere else is empty. Here comes ye old montage of village while everyone else is distracted because of the Easter bunny.
The village hospital, the village bank, the village arcade, the village tavern,
The village supermarket.
the village salon, the village bus stop, the village alleyway, the village kindergarten, the village post office, the village clock, village pizzeria, the village pier.
Now that we've taken advantage of the empty space to explore the unknown, we know it won't stay this way forever, and an enemy can come out at any moment. Thankfully, in our search, we've stumbled upon... Excited, I approached the door with bated breath. Sorry, gotta wait for the load screen. And that's when we're introduced to Tom, the village blacksmith. Apparently, this blacksmithing shop has hailed in this village for over 150 years. The previous owner, Paul Nosalik, traveled to Greenport in 1923 and became known for his wicked smithing skills. You see, Greenport Village is an area known for its fishing, sailing, and shipbuilding, and its influence can be seen all around. And as such, Paul was the backbone for this village, smithing various gears such as anchors, clam rakes, scallop dredges, and other boat hardware. Clearly, Paul was a master at his craft, demolishing iron 9 hours a day, 6 days a week for over 70 years. Unfortunately, Paul passed away in 1994. However, he passed down his 70 years of wisdom to Tom, his protege, on some All Might and Midoriya one for all type beat. And judging by how masterfully Tom's pounding that iron. He's just the man I need to speak to. Now, let's see if we can convince him to craft us a weapon for our upcoming journey.
Talking about swords and knives. The only weapons that Paul ever made were weapons that would have been used in fishing and being a bayman. No, I don't do that. I do make knives, but for friends and family, and I don't do it as a practice. I don't certainly do it here in the shop because I don't want this to be a knife shop.
Damn it! We came all this way, only to find out that the blacksmith is unable to smith us a viable weapon. How else will we be able to traverse the dangers that awaits us? Luckily, as I continued to explore the shop, I came across something that may just do the trick. The dagger of bottle opening! You see, to the untrained eye, this may just look like an ordinary bottle opener, but judging by the sharp edge, bottles ain't the only thing we're gonna be opening. I purchased the dagger with haste and added it to my inventory. Now confident that I can finish the rest of this journey, and since this blacksmith shop is technically a tourist attraction, we've already completed one of the rules of the quest. I left the blacksmith shop and kept walking until I found 2 Campbell noodle soup cans suspiciously stacked on top of each other. Normally, I would have questioned this, but you know I had to add this to my inventory. Walked up a little bit more, but stopped again because I saw these beautiful flowers. Wait, why does it say steel? Oh well, they're just flowers. I doubt anyone's gonna make a big deal about it.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
Wait, please, don't take me to jail!
Well, that sucked. I spent so much time in jail, I don't even know if we have enough time to explore the rest of the village. If only there was some sign that could show me what I need to prioritize next. Oh yeah, that.
Townsend Manor Inn!
So, the reason why I chose this particular hotel is because this is the oldest hotel in the entire village, dating all the way back to its early days in the mid-1800s. So with that being said, let's take a look inside, shall we?
I walked towards the door with utter excitement and head inside. I spoke with the hostess of this establishment as she gave me the keys to my room as well as a map of the hotel. Normally, I would have booked it straight to my room, but considering the history of this hotel, you know I had to do some exploring first. I immediately find myself in this 19th century dining room where I find a painting of this distinguished young gentleman, of whom I can only assume is the original owner of this inn. Apparently, this building has been around since 1835, originally built by a whaling captain and passed down to the 4 generations of the Townsend family, which, fun fact, is supposed to be one of the oldest family names in America. I don't know who these Townsend people are, but they definitely know how to spruce up the place. For example, just look at the design scheme of this room, and the grandfather clock in the middle really just puts the room together. Boo! Haha, I got you, didn't I? Look at your face! Look at your face! Look at your— Anyways, I decided it was time for me to find my room, utilizing my trusty map the hostess gave me.
Part of me wanting to make this video was just my curiosity to see how places looked like back then.
And now as I approach the door, I will quench that curiosity and get a glimpse of that past. Here is my genuine first reaction. Hey! What's that camera doing over there? Here comes ye old montage of a hotel room like how it was in the 1800s. Ye old coffee table with ye old coffee machine. Ye old lamp. Ye old dresser with ye old second lamp on top. Ye old ironing board to freshen up me garments. Ye old bathroom. Ye old bed. Okay, so maybe coffee machines didn't exist in the 1800s, but the old style room is still pretty cool.
But let's not be fooled. We still have a lot left to accomplish. Remember, our goal with going to all these villages is to experience one firsthand, find out what a village even is in the 21st century, and create my own definition. But we are no closer to an answer than when we first started. So here is the game plan. If my time playing RPG games taught me anything, is that the best place to gather information is at the local bar. So I'm going to the local sake bar I found on Google Maps and talk to the local villagers to ask what their definition of a village is. And as such, I loosened up my collar, took off my hat, because the little girl thought I was a leprechaun and I low-key got embarrassed, and I headed out to my next location. However, on our way there, we ran into some trouble. But not to worry though, we came prepared. And he ran away. Oh shit! Afterwards, I saw a village statue, and of course, I had to stop to pay my respects.
I kept walking and saw a blue house.
Look at that blue house.
Walked some more, saw a white house.
Look at that white house.
Saw another statue, so I paid my respects again. Then it got dark outside.
It's nighttime in the village right now, and this is how dark it gets. You can barely see me. And no, it's not because I'm black.
Sterling sake! I finally made it to my destination. I walk inside, take a seat at this bar area at the counter, and of course I had to take a second to admire this beautiful scenery. Ooh, pretty fish. Wait, when did villages start having robots as servants? AI's reach has gone too far. I ordered my food, ate my food, and since this restaurant can only be found in this village, I satisfied another rule of the quest. And this is when I decided to ask my bartender, a villager himself, what he thought a village was. In your opinion, what is a village?
In my opinion, what is a village would be a township with a small population.
Today I went to the village blacksmith and spoke to that guy. I was like, there's a blacksmith?
And yeah, that guy's been there for 100 years. I mean, generations.
Generations, over 100 years. Wow.
His father used to run that, and their father used to run that. My wife is from here, 7 generations.
7 generations in one village?
Yeah, from Greenport.
That's freaking awesome. 7 generations? Firstly, it's unfortunate that his definition doesn't give us much more insight, as that doesn't sound much different than a small town. But if there's a family willing to spend 7 generations in one place, this must mean that there's something more special to a village than what we're led on to believe. So, I asked the couple who sat right next to me to gain another perspective.
Like a small town.
Small town, basically.
Well, it's also though, it definitely has something to do with like the structure of like city government or whatever. Like, her parents live in the village of Southall. Within like the township of Southall.
Yeah, the township is like multi village.
Damn it! Our worst fears have been answered. Quickly, let's regroup back at the end to debrief. So, we have accomplished a lot, but there's still more work to be done. And unfortunately now, we're left with more questions than answers. Why is the definition for a village so vague? And how is it any different than a small town? What's so special about a village that people are willing to spend generations living in one place? Does the little girl from earlier still think I'm a leprechaun? And I promise that I will not take a moment of rest until I find every single answer. Good morning, sleepyheads. What, you overslept? Our first overnight in an old New York village is complete. And as I sit down to drink my morning coffee,
There's nothing in the cup.
okay, I look out the window, content with what we've already accomplished, yet nowhere close to being satisfied. And so, Bubba and I journey off to the next stop of our adventure, to the following village. Hey there, stranger. Sleepy Hollow. And you're probably like, Sleepy Hollow? Why does that sound so familiar? Then you're either thinking of the 1999 Tim Burton horror movie featuring Johnny Depp, or the 1820 short story of the same name, both of which are based off a real-life legend that occurred in this very village. Cue the ominous, scary music. Yeah. You see, in 1798, the author of the original folktale, Washington Irving, traveled just an hour away from New York City to a village that would eventually be called Sleepy Hollow. During his stay, he heard whispers from the local villagers of strange cries that could be heard from the nearby woods. During the American Revolution, there was a real account of a horseman who was decapitated in battle after being shot in the head by a cannon right here in Sleepy Hollow. There were rumors that those strange noises came from the many who died in battle, including the decapitated horseman. And there are those who believe that the ghost of that soldier still haunt the neighboring grounds today. Thus, the legend of the headless horseman was born, and that's where Irving gained inspiration for the folktale. However, it was also recounted that the headless horseman died on a bridge, and that very bridge is still here today. Take a wild guess on what we're about to do today. Hell yeah.
Off we go again to explore the secrets of yet another village. And not only are we here to find out what a village is, but this time, after learning about the legend of the headless horseman, I'm more curious to find out if there's any truth to these ghost stories. Sleepy Hollow is a village of about 10,000 residents. There has to be someone here with answers, and I know just the place to go find some. The gift shop. Naturally, a souvenir shop is the perfect place to, load screen again. The perfect place to gain insight on a new location. In order to sell merchandise about a place, the shopkeeper would have to be knowledgeable of the place they're selling about. So first things first, I explore the shop to see what we're working with here. The first thing that caught my eye was just how antique and homemade this entire shop feels. What shop you know got rings that look like this? Not in bougie Manhattan, I know that for sure. I went downstairs and found out that they got cocktails, plates, Japanese dresses for some reason. I don't even want to comment on what the hell this is. I was taking a mirror selfie when I accidentally trapped myself in this little mirror dimension.
This is trippy.
And finally, I found the Sleepy Hollow merch section. And based on these hoodies, it's very clear that the Headless Horseman is a big part of this village's culture. As a matter of fact, if you look around the neighborhood, the Headless Horseman's influence is just about everywhere. And speaking of, now it's about time to speak with the shopkeeper to ask what she thinks about the legend.
I think it's a very cool story. It's very short. It's a good one, and people, everybody comes to this town to be a part of it. So it's a fictionalized tale.
Right.
But it's using characters who were actual people in the area at the time. I don't think there was a headless guy thrown around talking, but maybe.
So there's no like headless horseman ghosts I should worry about, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I guess the ghost ain't real. Anyways, afterwards, I purchased some new Sleepy Hollow drip, thus supporting a local store, completing one of my tasks for this new village. Now, armed with this new information and discovering one of the actually true pieces to this legend. Funny enough, the bridge that we're looking for is actually inside of the cemetery, and apparently that cemetery has some very famous people buried there, including Washington Irving himself. So, as an optional side quest, it'll be cool to find out where he's buried. Kind of like a full circle type moment thing. That being said, there's only one thing left to do.
The cemetery. Let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Funny, if I had a nickel for every time I recorded a YouTube video inside of a cemetery, I'd have 2 nickels. Which, doesn't sound like a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice. Anyways, I began my search for the Headless Horseman Bridge. And you'd probably think this would be a quick search on Google Maps and it's all done. Nah, we are real adventurers here, meaning we're going off of pure instinct. Plus, it's more fun this way. As I continued my search, I began to realize just how elusive this fabled bridge is. But I promise, I will never give up. Is the bridge here? Oh, nope, guess not. While in the midst of my search, I did find one thing. Washington Irving's grave. Thus, completing my optional side quest. And as the author of the original folktale, he's the person who put us on this quest to begin with. So of course, we have to stop to pay our respects. Anyways, I found a cannon and decided to play with it for a little bit.
Fire in the hole!
Whoa, I hope I didn't blow anyone's head off. The search continues. Is the bridge here, 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 here? I realize this search may be too long if I record everything on camera, so to speed things up, I made a montage to show just how hard I was searching. Still nothing. Montage is over, but fortunately for us, after all this time, we have finally made it.
Well, guys, we did it. We finally found the Headless Horseman Bridge. Now that this objective is complete, let's see what the rest of this quest has in store for us. Wait, why isn't the quest updating? We found the bridge, it's literally right there. Hold up, let me check the map real quick. Wait, what? Replica? So you mean to tell me this isn't the real bridge? Then where is it? So this is it? This little street here is where the actual horseman died? I mean, I guess. Oh, okay. Now you want to change. Let's go to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. You see that place right there? This is a castle. That's what we're staying in tonight. Now, as usual, let's see what this place is all about.
I gotta tell you guys, out of all of the oldest hotels we were able to book for this journey, this was the one I was the most excited for. And I can't lie, after all that searching in the cemetery, we're gonna have to head straight to the room to rest up a bit. That being said, I grabbed the keys to my room, walked down this corridor, stopped real quick to admire this artwork. Nice. Turned down this hallway and busted a quick left until I reached the door to my room. And as I opened the door, I can feel myself getting more too bright, too bright! Y'all already know what time it is. Montage!
The castle couch. Castle lamp number 1. Castle lamp number 2. Castle lamp number 3. The castle closet. The castle bathroom. And the castle bed.
Well, that's the room. And I literally can't believe that I'll be able to say that I'm sleeping in a castle tonight. But before that though, let's explore the castle, see what cool stuff they have here, and discover the history behind this hotel. This castle began construction in 1897 and was originally owned by General Howard Carroll. He built it for his growing family, and it finished construction in 1910, which is unfortunate considering he died only 6 years later. But hey, at least it was used as a military post in World War II. Currently looking around, this place is fancy, and apparently fancy enough to host someone like a JP Morgan and Andrew Carnegie back in the day. And the fact that it's across the frickin' Hudson River adds bonus points in my book. But for real though, look at how ancient and big everything is. Oh, hey, what the heck? What are you guys doing up there? Later on, I found this chess table, and I don't mean to brag, but back in my day, I played a mean game of chess. Walked a little bit further and found this dining room that looks like it came straight out of the set of Bridgerton. I just can't get enough of looking at this place. For example, just look at the detail of this cobblestone. Boo! Ha! Caught you again. Look at your face. Look at your face. Look at your... I found a random table and decided to take a seat. And now that the day is winding down, I decided to end the night by watching the sunset.
Guys, I have to say it. I am disappointed, but probably not for the reasons that you think.
Although we completed every side quest we set out for in this village, the one thing we didn't do was get any closer to finding out what a village is or what makes a village special. We got distracted by those side quests, and that's not even the worst part. I had to return Bubba back to the car dealership, and she won't be with us for the rest of the journey. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves. So, in her honor, I have to finish this.
My curiosity is so unquenched that I will not even fall asleep. Behold! You see,
the human mind was meant to ask questions and seek solutions. And there are many questions a man can occupy his mind with. Admittingly, some are more foolish than others. But as I sit down to write this letter, there's only one question left on my mind. This is for you, Bubba.
Howdy there, partner. Cooperstown Village. Out of all the villages we've visited thus far, this is the one I am most excited for. Come close and I'll tell you why. Too close. You're getting way too close. Get out of my face. Get out of my... Founded in 1786 by William Cooper, this is one of the only villages that has an exact replica of how villages used to look like back in the 1800s. Bad news, this is our last chance to get answers. Good news, this is our best chance to get answers. Because what better way to know what a village is than to experience how one was like in the very beginning. This village has tons of other beautiful things to see as well, meaning we have much to explore, but so little time to do it. So, naturally, I grabbed help. Jason, a friend of mine.
What's up, guys?
Off we go again, exploring our final village in hopes of fully understanding what a village is. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that Cooperstown has a very big baseball presence with a literal baseball museum as one of its main attractions. And I have a confession to make. I'm not into baseball like that. I went to my first Yankees versus Red Sox game over 2 years ago, and my friends were hyping this up because apparently this was supposed to be a historic rivalry. And when I tell you the only thing historic about that match was how fast it got me to REM sleep. That being said, it wouldn't make sense for two people who are uninterested in baseball to pay for a baseball museum. So Jason and I decided to go undercover and change into something we'd never thought we'd become: Yankees fans. We walked towards the door, head inside, and that's when we're faced with our first problem.
We close at 5 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Is it too late to order, or because
You can't come back tomorrow?
Unfortunately, the time we arrived was only an hour before closing, and the person at the front desk almost didn't let us in until we said this.
Where are you guys from?
New York City.
They're from New York City, Yankees. There you go.
I'm a Yankee fan. Long Island.
As a Yankees fan himself, I was able to use my speech skill to convince him to let us purchase a ticket after all. And all I gotta say is, thank God we're Yankees fans.
We are not Yankees fans.
Anyways, we made it inside, and although I'm not a baseball fan, I can't lie. After seeing all this, I have a little bit more respect for the sport. And the history behind this place is insane. Apparently, this museum has been around since 1939 and is seen as the central point for the history of baseball in the United States. We spent a couple minutes walking around, admiring the memorabilia, pretending to know anything about baseball, you know, the usual. Then I got jump scared by the mascot for the Phillies. Imagine having a mascot that looks like this. Thank God I'm a Yankees fan.
We are not Yankees fans.
I walked a little bit more and then saw a Babe Ruth exhibit. Nice. Saw these rings.
Damn, look at all these rings. This is only half as many as Tom Brady has.
I sat down a bit to admire this display of Sammy Sosa, but then I immediately stood up again because I saw a booth dedicated to the Yankees. And after looking at this display, I've never been more happy to call myself a Yankees fan.
We are not Yankees fans.
And finally, I pose in front of these statues while making it very clear that I've never played a game of baseball in my life.
Does it look like I'm a baseball player?
Somewhat.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah. He'll critique you.
Yeah.
And afterwards, we went to the merch shop and bought some cool gear, which coincidentally enough satisfies the first real request for this new village. And now we step outside for the next quest update.
Am I crazy, or do you see that too?
See what?
Huh?
The Otesaga Hotel. Alright guys, this is the last of the oldest hotels of this video, and you know I had to end this off with a banger. Now, enough with the yapping. Let's get to the exploring. We grab our keys from the front desk and immediately find ourselves in this great room. Found a piano and took the opportunity to show you guys my wicked piano skills. The craziest part about this hotel was that this whole thing was built in 1909 and... Alright, hold up. Let's stop the music real quick. Okay guys, obviously as I'm recording this voiceover, we've already slept in this hotel. But now that I'm researching it for this video, I found out that this hotel has been known to be haunted and was literally featured in a 2010 episode of Ghostbusters. And we did not know that before actually staying there. Although it does explain a lot. You see, Jason told me that he fell asleep that night while on FaceTime talking to his fiance. And at some point during the call while Jason was asleep, Jason's fiance recalled that his face looked almost unrecognizable, as if while sleeping, he turned into an old man version of himself. When she went to screenshot the FaceTime for proof, the screenshot came up as black, which makes even less sense considering we slept with the lights dimmed and not completely off, so he definitely would have been visible. Apparently, the 3rd and the 5th floors of this hotel were supposed to be the floors that were haunted, and take a wild guess on what floor we were on. Coincidentally, this hotel used to be an all-girls children's school, which checks out considering other guests throughout the decades who've stayed on these floors reported hearing the giggling of young girls throughout the night, although there were no children around. Although Jason and I didn't personally hear any ghost girls in the hallways that night, I think that one experience we had was enough to prove that this place was freaky. Anyways, here's a video of us staring at you menacingly. And then we decided to finally take the elevator to the 3rd floor and head to our room.
Welcome to my room.
Ha! At this point, you'd probably expect us to do a montage of the room like the other hotels. But after hearing about those ghost stories, I don't think this place deserves a montage. Okay, maybe a quick one.
Fridge and microwave, dresser and lamp, TV and dresser, mirror, toilet, sink, shower, bed. Bed. No, you're good. 3, 2, 1. Bed!
Montage is over, but we are far from ending this journey. So Jason and I grab a quick bite to eat before we head off to the real reason we came to this village. The Farmers Museum! Like I stated earlier, Cooperstown is one of the only villages with a real-life replica of how villages used to look like back in the 1800s, which is inevitably our best chance to understand what a village is. With our ultimate goal in mind, Jason and I set off towards the entrance. First things first, we head inside the shop and speak with the first villager we find. As we begin to speak with him, he showed us the ancient art of fabric weaving. A lot of people would assume that back in the day, this would be something only the women would do. But he told us a lot of men actually also weaved fabric. And clearly, because my man was killing it on the machine. And this is where I took the opportunity to ask him the dreaded question.
It's the form of governance. Villages are usually a cluster of homes and families. And if they get big enough and incorporate and so forth, they become cities. But a township is actually usually the geographic. It's sort of like a subdivision of a county, which is then a subdivision of a state. So it's more political in the way things are governed as much as anything.
Villages have their own government separate than the bigger town or state?
Quite often they do have separate governments.
Huh, by his definition, a village is just a subsection of a town with its own government. Afterwards, we left the fabric weaver and entered the village convenience store, where the shopkeeper showed us not only what 1800s villagers used to consume, but toys they used to entertain themselves. Next, we found and walked inside this little shed thing, looked around a little, then we found an old diary of the person who used to live here. And of course, we had to invade their privacy and read it. Later on, we walked in this red barn looking house and spoke to the lady inside, who crafts the various papers and wallpapers of the homes in the villages. Afterwards, we sat down to drink some tea like gentlemen. But wait, there's something here that not even I knew before coming here. For our next stop, we are going to the village blacksmith. If you remember, our first objective in this entire journey was visiting the village blacksmith of Greenport to craft us a weapon. So knowing that the final village we're visiting has their own blacksmith as well, kind of brings things full circle. Now, I'm not the type of person to instigate competition, but of course, I wanted to see what he thought of Tom's craftsmanship. And guess what? For everyone who thought this was a bottle opener, prepare to look like a fool, because clearly a true blacksmith could tell that this is actually a dagger. Can you tell what this would be?
Bottle opener, yeah.
Next, we end up inside the village alchemy shop, aka the pharmacy. And the village pharmacist taught us how people back in the day used herbs and other materials to craft concoctions to help the sick. And of course, I asked him the question.
Well,
Population is one thing, and also what your home rule charter of the area is.
Yeah.
So population is a factor? Then we walked inside the village tavern, and I pretended to be the village bartender for a quick second. We looked around, and then the tavern owner showed us another toy contraption that people used for entertainment. And I'll just roll the clip so you'll see what I mean.
They would live trap a squirrel and put him in a little house. There was a door that would close.
Wow.
They would put this up on the mantelpiece, and they would open up the door, and the squirrel would come in here, and they would run.
Next, we found the village church, and of course, I had to take the time to speak the gospel.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Then, we stumbled upon the village farm, and this is where things start getting interesting. You see, the goal here is to speak to as many villagers as possible to figure out what a village is, and I figured it would be biased to only ask the human villagers. So, to not get canceled by the animal community, I asked this turkey his thoughts. Alright. My feelings are already hurt. Time to leave. Well, that didn't work. So, we tried a different approach.
Unfazed.
Okay, these animals aren't that helpful. But then, you won't believe what I found. Although unfortunately, despite my begging and pleading, nothing I say will convince this horse to join my side. Maybe because he doesn't speak English, who knows. But don't you worry, because I ended up finding the perfect horse for me after all. So this is supposed to be the part where I finally give you my definition of what a village is. But I think it's pretty obvious. I was just using that as an excuse to travel. I never really had much opportunity to travel growing up, and New York City was all I knew. But thanks to YouTube and the privilege I have of making fun content for you guys, I'm able to experience new places I would have never knew existed. And even more so, turning it into fun content I can share with you guys, so we can all experience it and learn together. Obviously, if you take a look at my channel, I love learning and experiencing new things. So whether you watch me because you want to learn about the topics I speak about, or you like it when I explore an adventure while acting like an idiot, I just want to add value to you guys while having fun doing it. So sure, a village is a subsection of a town with its own government. But the one thing I learned while staying overnight at 3 different villages is that every village I went to had a history and a story. And thank you all for giving me the chance to share these stories with you. Thank you for almost 14K subscribers, you guys are crushing it. But most importantly, thank God we didn't run into any dragons on this trip. What the heck is up there?